Apostle John Henry Smith said he had enjoyed exceedingly the proceedings of the conference thus far, and had listened with pleasure to the remarks made by the brethren. Almost every topic in which they were interested had been dwelt upon in some form or other. The Spirit of the Lord had rested in great abundance upon the entire congregation, as well as those who had addressed them, so far as he had been able to judge. Points of doctrine, matters pertaining to our temporal concerns, our fidelity and faith in the discharge of the duties devolving upon us had received due consideration. None among us should fail to recognize that there was ample room for improvement. We all had our weaknesses and made our mistakes. We daily appreciate the truth of the words, "Man is prone to evil as the sparks fly upward." Therefore, it was our duty to remain constantly upon our guard, and not to become unmindful of our responsibilities in the least degree. Our movements must be either backward or forward. Hence, every possible effort should be made to advance in the direction of truth and righteousness. In regard to the rising generation today, we found ourselves somewhat peculiarly situated. In some parts, the instruction of our children was in the hands of those who were not of the faith of the Latter-day Saints. From the conditions which existed around, it behooved us to be more watchful in this matter than was formerly the case. Not that he desired to say one word which would reflect upon those who were in the field as teachers in the district schools, and against whom he had never heard a word leading towards the supposition that they made use of their positions to impress any particular faith or doctrine upon the minds of the scholars. Yet the tendency of mankind was to create an impression upon others, which was characteristic of the man himself. It should be our desire to foster education in every possible way, that which tended to enlighten and prepare a man for the discharge of his obligations, both toward God and his neighbor. In sending their children to school, parents should look well to it that their spiritual training was not altogether neglected, and let them seek to inculcate correct principles in the minds of the young. Associations should be conducted in our communities to aid in this work. Our Sabbath schools accomplished a great deal. They were probably the most active agencies outside the influence of the home in directing the minds of the children for good. Then, in addition to the Sabbath schools, there were the primary associations, wherein little children were instructed by good and faithful sisters. The speaker also made mention of the Young Men's and Young Ladies' Mutual Improvement Associations, which he feared, however, were not always made so potent for good as they might be. He meant by this that parents were frequently neglectful in not urging upon their sons and daughters the great importance of joining such associations and being regular in their attendance at the meetings. There was no subject fraught with greater consequences to the Latter-day Saints than that of the conditions now surrounding our children. The world presumed that Mormonism was designed to stultify men and women and to restrict their liberties. But when people became conversant with the principles of the gospel, which the Latter-day Saints had received, they would soon see the error into which they had fallen. In conclusion, he urged those present to remember the instructions given during conference, carry these with them to their homes, and seek to profit by the testimonies which had been borne.